Hello guys, welcome back to the Matchy Life YouTube channel. My name is Sav and this YouTube channel is all about the behind the scenes of my small business Matchy Australia. This is not my usual content, mind you. Today I'm going to do a little bit of a bonus video, give you guys some bonus content because I've actually been getting a few questions now about how I started my business, my background, like what I went to uni for, things like that. We can just run through my history a little bit, how I started my business with literally $500 in my bank account. And when I say $500 in my bank account, that is generous because I did not even have that much money to my name when I started my business. And hopefully this gives you guys a little bit of inspiration. Yeah, let's just dive straight into it. If you're crafting, cleaning, cooking, whatever it might be, put some headphones on, listen to this like a podcast or put me on the TV, whatever. We're just going to have a chit chat for those that are interested in how I started Matchy Australia. Let's get straight into it. I'm not going to give you my whole life history because we will be here for a really long time, but reflecting on all of this, I've realized I've had so many jobs. I am 28 years old and in my 28 years of life, I have been working literally a lot. I started out working with my dad in the family business. I would literally work every single weekend, wake up at 3 a.m. on a Sunday morning because he owned a business called The Timing Wizards, and it was timing sporting events. So for anyone that's familiar with marathon running, triathlon running, it's literally the little timing bands you get to put on your ankle or in your bib, and that tracks your time throughout the whole race. It's very precise, very technical. My dad was like an engineer, I think he was, I don't know, but he worked in like radio as his day job, and then this was his weekend job. From when I can remember, we would go every single weekend, help dad with the business, and he would give us a little bit of pocket money or take us shopping after the races were finished. It was super fun, but that's all I knew growing up. Going throughout high school was how hard my dad worked and how much we worked with him. So that was basically my introduction to the workforce. I then had a job at childcare and outside school hours care. I was at one stage a party planner helper, so I would dress up like Cinderella and go to kids' parties. I did Boost Juice, I did Lorna Jane, I worked at a building company in like the reception for a little bit, I worked at a chocolate shop. Yeah, I think that covers everything outside of my degree. After I finished high school, I did go to university and I studied a bachelor's degree in design and communication, and I majored in e-media and journalism. So journalism is journalism, and e-media basically covers all of the basics of social media, making content like videos, editing videos. Literally everything I do today I learnt at university and learnt the ground basics of all of that and met a bunch of people. It also covered web design. While I was at university, I did do some freelancing because I originally had the intention to go to university to be a fashion blogger. I loved the TV show Australian Fashion Bloggers. I think you could only watch it online or on YouTube or something, but I just wanted to be a fashion blogger, and I was like, I also want to make money helping people start their own blogs, like the whole website, upload content, upload pieces of writing, things like that. So that was my intention. The landscape of social media and all of that changed so quickly. So the job and direction of everything just changed with social media. After I finished my degree, I then got a job at a marketing agency, and there I was a social media manager or social media coordinator, and I would work with a bunch of clients. I originally started out wanting an internship, but soon it turned into a part-time job, and I had a lot of fun working there. I then started to lose myself a little bit. I struggled a little bit with mental health and just not really feeling like I had a purpose, and didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't really love my job. I didn't really love my freelancing. The best way I can describe it is I didn't really feel aligned with the work I was doing. So I started to pick up a few of my hobbies and really go inside myself and kind of have a discovery stage of what I liked and what I enjoyed. I then started sewing. Like, this wasn't the first time I picked up a sewing machine. I used to actually steal my mum's sewing machine because my mum would not let me touch her sewing machine whatsoever. But I would just beg her to take me to the fabric store. I would get like a few meters of like satin, things like that, and try and recreate the Gossip Girl dresses. I was obsessed with Gossip Girl throughout high school, and I didn't work with any form of patterns or anything like that. I was just obsessed with bows, ribbon, draping fabric. I just loved sewing. I loved fabric. I loved making things. So when I was in my discovery stage, I definitely wanted to give sewing another go. My older sister actually got gifted a sewing machine from her work, and she was like, what am I going to do with this? And I was like, can I borrow it for like a little bit? And basically I started Matchy with this sewing machine that my sister got gifted to her. It was just like a basic brother sewing machine. I made scrunchies, face masks. I was at coffee with my friend one time and she was like, can you make me a makeup bag if you are sewing again? And I was like, there's no way I know how to do a zip. Went back home and I thought, no, I'm just going to give this a go. I went onto YouTube to see how you make it and I ended up making one. And I guess the rest is history because I fell in love with the fact that I've created a bag from nothing. And it was just so exciting and so fulfilling. At this time, to fund everything, I was still working at the marketing agency and doing Yana Studios. And I also started Craft with Sav. And I was like, this is just going to be a sewing blog. I went to uni to be a blogger. I want to still do blogging. I'm just going to start a sewing blog. And I called it Craft with Sav, and I would make little things, post them on Instagram. It was almost like I was finally aligning with something and people were noticing. Anyway, so that was really positive and encouraging. And I thought to myself, like, why don't I sell this at markets and just see how it goes, like see what I can do with it, just another side hobby. I love working. I love doing little things. And yeah, I just applied for a market in Brisbane and I started going to the markets and it just went up and up and up. I ended up leaving the marketing job not long after I started Craft with Sav. From the beginning, just with like my interest in fashion, business, social media, I knew that that wouldn't be a big business and that wouldn't be my final business if I wanted to take it anywhere. I was just experimenting, making things, seeing what people liked and honing in on my skills. And I was practicing and refining my skill as much as possible. I was designing my own patterns. I was refining my patterns. So I just wanted to be the best version and the best sewist before I took it any further. I then decided that sewing was definitely my passion and I loved doing it so much. So I had to think about it and I was like, let's actually make this a thing and rebrand, start a business. We're not going to be a blog anymore. We're actually going to be a retail store that is going to be handmade items. And yeah, I launched Matchy. I documented rebranding from Craft with Sav to Matchy, and I did YouTube on it. I did TikTok videos, and then I did an official like launch day. And I think I got 2 or 3 orders on launch day.
I've been at the computer pretty much all day, and I launched the website just before, as you would have seen, and I just wanted to check in. It is 6:10 and I've just heard my first cha-ching noise, so I just got my first order.
There is a video, you can go back and watch it, where I launched the business, and I think the Shopify ka-ching noise comes in like 10 minutes after I launch, and I watched that back and I'm just so grateful I have those memories because it was honestly so cute. And yeah, it's just so awesome to have the early days because like in my mind, I don't even see them as early days. I just see it as like the whole journey. So it's really cool to like go back and see how everything has unfolded and how much things have changed. How I was able to do it with literally no money was every single dollar that I did make from the business, I reinvested into the business. So If I went to a market and I got $300 from that market, the stall fee was like $60, whatnot, I would then have $240 to go and buy some more fabric, or I would upgrade my equipment, I would upgrade my patterns. Literally all the money went back into the business. I also spent a lot of time on the business, and I still do it to this day. I vividly remember someone messaged me on Instagram and said, like, how do you do this? I want to do this. I could have just given them a mediocre response of like, oh no, keep trying, work really hard. I said to them, I work really, really hard. I wake up, have a coffee, go to work, I sew, I work on my business, whatever needs to be done that day, I do it, and I don't stop until it's done. That is the hard reality. Your social life becomes non-existent because you have to work weekends. Basically putting so much work into my business. Anything that needed to be done, I would do it. And if I didn't know how to do something, I would search the ends of the earth till I found how to do something. I definitely have not chosen an easy job because I didn't have money behind me. So I didn't have any savings. I didn't have any investment, parent investment or anything like that. I make everything myself, so I don't have to give a lump sum for a bulk down payment on a bulk set of stock or anything like that. That's also how I managed to do it, because I'm buying the raw materials, and you can always, although it's more expensive, I started out purchasing everything from Spotlight, and then I just like worked my way up into sourcing my own manufacturers for those raw materials. But obviously you cannot do that starting out, because manufacturers, you require a minimum order quantity, and you don't need 500 zipper pulls if you're just crafting at home or if you're not really sure where the business is going to go. So I didn't invest in those types of things until I was ready to do so. I had the financial means and I had the vision and the purpose for those types of materials. I also knew that I wanted to design my own fabric. I love designing, obviously that's my background, and I just felt like if I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to do it 100%. But yeah, that's essentially how I do it, is I work really, really hard and I just give it my all. I'm not perfect. Might not be doing everything correctly, but yeah, people want to know how it all started, why it all started, and that is it. Moving forward and like the future of Matchy, I definitely know that making everything myself isn't sustainable, and I have said that from day one. It's not going to be forever. I would love to have my own like manufacturing facility, but I just don't even know if that is feasible or sustainable. I have goals and a vision for Matchy, and I'm really excited. I'm still working every single day to achieve them, to bring you guys like the cutest stuff ever, and to bring them out in more products would be really exciting. There are also so many amazing benefits to making things yourself, keeping the manufacturing local, sourcing local materials, and then there's amazing benefits of working with overseas manufacturers. They have the amazing technology. You literally can give sketches and they can give you a sample of a product. So that's really exciting to explore as well. There is so many avenues that I could go down. So I'm kind of at the stage right now where I'm just thinking about everything, thinking about where I want to go. I also want to bring you guys like some travel content, because I would love to show like these bags in real life and in action. I think that's really important too. So yeah, if you're looking for a super quick summary of how I started a business with $500, it is working really, really hard. There is a question here that is about my filming. Just a general question about filming. Do you have cameras in different angles set up and then just edit what you want, or does someone else film you all day? That's a really good question, and something I never thought I would explain. But basically, I just use the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I cannot recommend this camera enough. It is phenomenal. And I just set it up in different angles around the workshop, film my day for that, and it syncs to a microphone. and then I just import all the footage into the computer and then edit it that way. But yeah, it's just me doing it on my Osmo Pocket. A lot of questions about like selling my patterns and if I sell my patterns. I don't sell my patterns. All of my patterns are my original patterns. They're not my original products. Like obviously makeup bags exist elsewhere. But these patterns specifically I have made. They're my interpretation of a box bag, etc., etc. I definitely don't invent the bag, but the pattern itself is my pattern. And I don't share it because the purpose of my channel is more about the business and not so much the craft. That is because it's not going to be me hand making everything, every single product forever. I will always make the first sample, the first product, the first design, but I won't be the one making it from start to finish because the business will not grow if I keep doing that. But yeah, I definitely want to grow the business, so that will mean me stepping away from the sewing machine. So that's why I don't sell the patterns, because the business is the product and not the sewing patterns. There are also so many amazing sewing channels on YouTube that make box bags. I've made a tutorial on them before. Anyway, a little bit of a different bonus content today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely, if you have any more questions, let me know. Hopefully it wasn't too long. I think I'm sitting at 32 minutes, so hopefully I've condensed it and cut it down a little bit. But I will have a video for you guys tomorrow, so I will see you all then. Bye guys.